That is a handsome nose. Hey, what's up, you guys? Articulation Prime here, doing another Hot Toys figure review on the Hot Toys Iron Man 3 movie masterpiece MMS209, Tony Stark, the Mechanic 1/6 scale collectible figure. This review is brought to you by MarvelousNews.com. Check them out for the latest in Marvel-related news. If you're trying to pick up your Hot Toys, you can't find them at Big Bad Toy Store.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
So we have some pretty standard Hot Toys packaging, nothing too different over here, average size. We do have Iron Man Tony Stark embossed over here, but everything else is just matted. And on the side, we have the picture, you can see his hoodie on the side over there. On the other side, it says Iron Man 3 Tony Stark. And we do have what looks like circuitry embossed in the packaging over here. That's kind of neat. You could feel all the little lines and all the bumps. And then on the back over here, we have this blue. We get a little warning over there and these little shapes that kind of remind me of Spider-Man's suit. And then we're just going to lift this up over here, and here we have some credit. You can see what looks like the workbench from that kid's garage, and then we have all the people that had worked on the figure. We got a lot of hongs and a lot of, wait, it's just the same hong. JC hong all over the place. And then once we remove that flap, you can see Tony Stark right here in his plastic prison. Anyway, let's crack this thing open. So here it is out of the packaging, looking very, very cool. Of course, Hot Toys, just killing it. This figure comes with a ton of accessories, just so many little things to look at. I really like the figure a lot. I actually thought it was going to be kind of lame, but you know, after messing with it, I think it's pretty damn cool. So let's take a look at all these little accessories, and then we'll get a closer look at this Tony Stark, the Mechanic. Now, I recommend this for all Hot Toys figures to make sure you open up the instruction booklet before anything else. It informs you how to properly use all of the accessories. You don't want to damage anything. These figures are very expensive, so you want to take care of them, and the best way to take care of them is to follow the directions. So it does come with this aviator sunglasses, just like with the Mandarin figure. You do not want to leave these on too long. Can cause some damage to the figure, some paint wear. These sunglasses do fit on him quite nicely. You can see how they nicely go around the ears over here. That's pretty cool. And these are very transparent, and I like the silver paint applications right here. And he also comes with the goggles, very similar to the ones that we got with the test suit Mark 42 Iron Man, or Tony Stark I mean. They're practically the same thing. Only real difference is that this one has a target right here on the glass part, and this one does not have that. And then what you do is there's this hologram. We also get this holographic display right here that's supposed to go over Tony's head. Very cool. I like how it has this bluish hue to it while it's still maintaining very clear plastic. And you're supposed to put the goggles in here first. You can see on the back there's a slot for it over here and this notch in the middle that fits in like so. And there we go. So that looks pretty good. That's how that's supposed to work. Then you're supposed to put this whole thing over his head as one piece. And when you do this, you really want to be careful. You do not want to scratch anything or break anything. That actually needed a little finagling, but there you go. Very, very badass. Woo. I really like how you could see all the blue lines drawn on there. That looks cool. You could even see some of the yellow lines coming through the holographic display right here. Right here. This right here is just an awesome look. I really like it. So here's a bunch of the little accessories that most of them are supposed to go into his backpack. There's a lot over here. This little spike here attached to the rope. I like the gold paint applications over here. This is quite pointy. I like that. And I'm not going to unravel this thing completely, but I remember the scene where he trips the guy with this. He, throws it around his ankles and pulls the guy down. There's this little Christmas ornament bomb. I like how it's made with this shiny blue paint, and I like the gold paint over here as well. This is cool. There's this other bomb over here that's made with a water bottle and a syringe and some red liquid. I remember he threw that into a little fountain. He does have these pliers. A lot of nice little detail over here, and they do open up. They don't function when you squeeze over here, so don't try pushing down on it and expecting the pliers to open. You're going to break it, but look at that. Woo. It's so small and it's so damn accurate. We get his homemade taser over here. Nice colors, very clean, looks great. We have our little Dora the Explorer stopwatch over here. It's nice and elastic. It's a special edition, by the way. And you apply this tiny little sticker yourself, and it does come with spares in case you drop it or lose it or something. You get this World Hot News, this tiny little newspaper clipping over here. Nothing on the back of it, but I like how the paper's not solid white. It's got gray in here. And then this is supposed to be folded up like this so you can place it in the backpack. You get a little homemade air gun over here, which looks really, really cool. I like it. It's kind of hard placing it into his right hand. You only see him holding it in his right hand. But the way this is made, there's some detail right here in this beige olive green color part right here, which looks very, very nice. They did a great job on this. A lot of great detail on this. It looks so realistic. A lot of color variations on it. Amazing job by Hot Toys. And then we get his power glove over here. It's not really a power glove, but look at that. All kinds of great detail on this. Beautiful. There's also a homemade repulsor that comes with the Sideshow exclusive. I don't have that. If you want to see what that looks like, check out Rhino's review. He did a great review of this figure, so annotation down here. Well done on this. Love this. And it comes with its own wrist peg too, so that's pretty cool. But look at the detail on this. It's just so impressive. And it comes with this Mac 10 right here, which looks great. You can see some silver dry brushing right here throughout the whole gun. Actually, it looks pretty cool. And I like how you have a different texture right here on the back, on the handle. And here's the clip, which is removable. I didn't think it was going to be removable. There you go. You can see the little gold bullet right there. That is cool. Pop this right back in. And this backpack, are you f***ing kidding me, man? Look at this. That is just amazing. Fucking unbelievable, man. I can't, oh gee, look at all this. Like, he's got zippers all over the place. You can peel this open. You can close it back up. I mean, like zippers all over, zippers down here. Yep. Zippers, little straps, more zippers up here. Everything's functional on this backpack, and then when you put it on Tony Stark, you actually unclip it right down over here. And my nails aren't too long, but there you go. You could unclip it like that, and then just plug it right back in when you put it around his shoulder. The instructions show us how to load this thing up with all the weapons. I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll see how this looks. So here's pretty much everything that's supposed to go in the backpack loaded up as they show in the directions. I guess you could put all this stuff in there any way you want to, but this is close to how they show it in the directions, and I'm going to probably just keep it like this. This looks great. I think it's awesome how Hot Toys has made this possible. They even have this little Velcro piece right here that attaches to the other side. You're supposed to actually reach that around and have it stay like so. It kind of pops up because it's full of stuff, but look at this. This is just incredible. I'm really, really impressed. And Tony comes with 5 different interchangeable hands. He has 3 left hands and 2 right hands. Great sculpting, fantastic paint detail as usual with Hot Toys. Look at, you can see veins, man. I get off of veins. Is that weird? I like veins. I don't know, it just shows the attention to detail that they put into the figure. This hand looks like it's ready for holding the taser or that red liquid bottle bomb thing. Then he comes with a pair of gun-wielding hands, so they both have the trigger fingers sticking out like that. These look great as well. Then he comes with a pair of relaxed hands. Damn, these things are so realistic. He also comes with 3 extra wrist pegs. He also comes with this extra arm piece. It's for the right arm, and it has this battle-damaged Mark 42 arm. Now, it's not articulated. There's no articulation over here. It does have an LED light built in, so you just push this switch, and you can see how that looks. And this does come with an alternate hand that is not displayed pointing upwards, so you can see this one's going flat down. And just like the test one, you want to pull the hand off and you want to pull the wrist guard out. And we get this new wrist guard over here. Again, looking just absolutely gorgeous. And then slip this on over here. And then you can put this flattened hand, or, you know, this non-tilted hand right over there. And this one does have the articulated fingers. So 2 joints on each finger and the knuckle. So it's technically 3 joints really, and then the thumb has the 2. This is nice. God, I love all the little nicks and everything. And it works a similar way as it did for the test suit Tony Stark figure. Like, this is the right arm for that one. Now, the difference is that this isn't articulated. Like I mentioned, this isn't articulated over here on the hand. This one very much is, and it comes with interchangeable hands. But you can see, like, this is like the before, and this is the after right here. And they work the same way. These are both detachable via magnet, so they do clip back in like that. So you can peel this back, and then you could remove this elbow. And I think that looks pretty good. Not too shabby. Turn the light back on over there. So that works very, very well. We also get this battle-damaged left boot, similar to the test suit Tony Stark figure. So here's another before and after thing with the boot. This is from the test suit, and here's from the new mechanic one. And man, I can't get over how well detailed this is. Look at all these little parts over here. Looks like we have some copper wires right down here at the bottom. Again, that black overspray looks very cool. Ah, man. I'm gushing over here. I just think the detail on this is really badass. I would love to have a Hot Toys Mark 42 figure that was just totally battle damaged like this. As I mentioned before, I really like the Marvel Select battle damaged figure, and I don't know, this is kind of like hitting that same geek spot. And then we use this little tool over here to help shove the pants into the boot, which is the same tool that we got with the test suit version, which is also very tricky. I find it a little easier to try to twist this around. And, you know, again, this isn't really the funnest thing in the world to do. And you can only put this on his left leg, and I have a hard time with it. And it's just not very, you know, no matter what, it bunches up. And you could try to shove this down here, but there's not enough space. I really don't like how this works, but it does look cool once you get it through. It just takes some effort. So now we have it on there, and of course we do have some bunching up there by the knee, but damn it, that boot looks so badass. I love how that boot looks. So this is a great looking Tony Stark head sculpt. I think it's the same thing that we saw with the test suit version. They've just changed the direction of which his eyes are looking, and they've added this really nice looking blood detail on here, which looks beautiful. I mean, it's kind of gross, but it's beautiful. Comparing the two head sculpts side by side, they look identical. Almost the same exact thing, I'd say. I feel like where the hair meets the roots over here, though, I'm seeing a little bit of a flesh color. That's a little annoying. I don't feel like they've painted the brown all the way down to the scalp. I think they missed that a little bit, but not a big deal. This is actually really, really good. And I really like the hoodie on this figure. I like that it fits over his head nicely. It's not all gigantic and loose like it was on the Mandarin figure. You can zip that up. That looks a little better. That's pretty cool. Does have zippers on the cuffs of each arm over here, and I like that this hoodie has actual pockets right here. That's a very cool touch. And you can remove the sweater. When you first get the figure, he does have this huge piece of plastic covering his torso and everything, so you have to remove the head and then pull this piece of plastic up from the collar right over here, which is kind of weird. So it makes me think that if you want to do some head swapping between these two figures, you know, you can. And I think this plain white shirt came out very, very nice. You can see it says Advanced Idea Mechanics, and I really like the arc reactor. Now, it's not turned on right now, and you can still see some blue coming out of it. With my lights turned down, you can see the blue coming through just a little bit, and it's not even turned on. I think that is really cool. And then he does have a switch in his back over here. You can kind of see it sticking through, and you push it down, and that's what turns it on. And then there you go. That looks great. Love the arc reactor on this one. I'm really impressed with how the pants came out on this figure. I like that beige fading. The stitching looks really cool. I love that he actually has functioning pockets over here. Very, very nice, man. And I really like the shoes. I mean, these things are legit high top sneakers, man. Look at that. God, the sculpting on this is so accurate. So well detailed. I mean, the laces are all plastic. Everything's made out of plastic over here. But man, just they did such a great job on this. Look at the treads underneath. Just like the Mandarin figure, there's dirt at the bottom of the shoes. It says Marvel right there. But very, very cool. So the articulation on this guy is more or less the same as what we had seen with the other Tony Stark figure. His head can look up. It can look down pretty far. He does have a neck pivot. You can rotate side to side. Now, one thing the directions say is that when you move the head up and down, you want to turn it first and then move it up and down. That's going to prevent some paint wear. So we get that. We get an armpit joint that moves forward and back like this. We get some shoulders that move outward. They can rotate forward. He has an elbow that bends all the way in like that, so less than 90 degrees. He has rotation at the elbow as well. His wrists do rotate side to side and up and down. He does have a diaphragm joint over here that bends right at the abs. It rotates side to side. It crunches forward a little bit and back and has a pivot, so you can pivot side to side over here. He also has a waist joint that moves side to side. I feel like I'm pantsing the Tony Stark. And it does crunch at the waist as well, so it bends very far forward. You can bend it very far back. Doesn't really pivot too much at the waist. He does have hip joints that move outward that much. You can get him kicking forward. He has an upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, which bend a lot farther in without having the boot on here, so you can bend it that much without the boot. His ankles also move side to side, down a little bit and up just a tiny little bit. He has ankle pivot, so that's pretty legit ankle pivot with the shoe on. Ankle pivot actually works a little better with this boot on. It also moves down and up, and it has toe articulation right here on the boot too, and these flaps move up and down to help with articulation. With having the Mark 42 arm attached to it, it can rotate where the magnet connects, of course. It can still bend about 90 degrees, so that works pretty well. And then he does have a ball peg right here where the wrist moves side to side and all around. And of course, I showed the finger articulation earlier. So this Tony Stark figure stands just barely over 12 inches tall. So here's Tony Stark compared to Tony Stark. Looks like we're already getting more Tony Stark figures than actual Iron Man figures. It was mostly a Tony Stark movie, really. And here's Tony the Mechanic standing next to the Mandarin, or Trevor. And here's Tony Stark compared to the Power Pose Mark 42 Iron Man. Yeah, you can clearly see I'm trying to pose them the same way. And it looks like the Mark 42 is a little bit larger enough where it looks like you can imagine Tony Stark being in that suit, I guess. To be completely honest with you, I thought this figure was going to be really lame, but I gotta say, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, Hot Toys really knows what it's doing. I think it's more of like what the Iron Man 3 had to offer us as far as merchandise goes, as probably more lame than what the toy company like Hot Toys is able to do. They give us a lot of really, really cool stuff, even like for these little gadgets and stuff that were in the movie for like 1 second and everything. I wish he did have a pistol. Rhino did mention that it would have been good if he had a handgun, because he does have a handgun quite a bit at the time in the movie. That's really the only serious letdown I can think of, but other than that, you know, great figure. I highly recommend it. It's not a very expensive Hot Toys toy and you get a lot of stuff. But anyway, that's my review, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And check out more pictures of this figure at marvelousnews.com. Link in the description below. I will catch you guys later. Peace. Weapons. I'm gonna load up all his weapons on here. So the instructions show us how to. So the instructions.